The Kronos 200 Pro. Steve, what do you know about this?
Okay, so the Kronos is our one of our mixed versions of the rollaway bowl mixer, okay, versus a fixed bowl. So the Kronos, just like all of our spiral mixers, uses the Kemper 3-zone mixing principle, okay, using the mixing arm and the spiral, and it creates a better mixing. In real terms, this spiral mixer is as close as you can get to hand mixing and hand kneading mechanically. Okay, your grandmother will do it better, but she can't do this much. So, and one of the things that I always do when I have customers in shows is I always ask them to actually put their hands on these tools, because what sets us apart from other companies that are now using this mixing arm is precision manufacturing. And if you touch this, you can tell. I mean, it's highly polished. Each one of these is actually done on a machine. They're not stamped, so they're extremely close precision. And that also goes along with all of our bowls are stamped out of a single sheet of stainless. What that does is it allows us to get very close. So the distance between the bottom of this mixing arm and the bottom of the bowl is the smallest gap in the industry, and the same thing between the side of the bowl and the spiral. And what that does is it gives us a more homogeneous mix. So we mix faster, it's more homogeneous. If you were to take samples throughout the bowl, send them to a lab, they would say, wow, this is all exactly the same. Other mixes, you won't get that precision. So it's more homogeneous. We also, because of the way that we mix, it mixes, then it starts kneading, it releases the dough around, it gives the dough a chance to cool off before it comes back again, and adds oxygen in the center. And that gives us a better gluten development, faster, better, stronger gluten development at cooler temperatures, and so we have a more repeatable. So we can have, not only is it the same in this batch, but you can do batch after batch after batch. If you put the same products in there, you'll get the same exact dough out of there.
I noticed this nice screen that we have, and I don't know if anybody else has had the older versions that have the analog system. The timers get all full of flour and what have you, and this is a professional screen programmable unit. Steve, why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Okay, so what we can do with the screen version, this is the KRONOS Pro, by the way. So the KRONOS Pro offers more additional things that you can have. Programmable. There's options in the KRONOS Pro that are not available in the standard KRONOS. One of them is this programmable screen timer, and it's not just a timer. It's actually programmable. You put a recipe in. So I can go in there and I can say, for the first step, of course, is going to be mixing. So it's always, you start in slow speed, and I can tell it I'm going to mix for 2 minutes, and then after the 2 minutes, kick it into high speed for the kneading. But I may, 5 minutes into it, I might want to add another product, add something else in there, salt or anything, and I can program it so it will stop. And if it's something I need to go in, open up for, it'll lift up, wait for me, put it back in again, I hit the button, it starts up again. If it's something that I only need to add through, like salt, that I can add through the small ingredient door, it'll just stop and wait for me to do that. So you can program in, and I have a customer now that we just put some mixers in last year, and they have several doughs that's exactly what happens. They have to go back to the dough 3 times, but where before they had to keep on watching it, now the guy goes and does his work, and when the machine stops, lets him know he has to do something else, then he comes over, adds the salt, hits the button, walks away. The next time he's got to come over. One of their steps is they come over and they add some oil. It stops, opens up for him, so it's really, it really helps in management, because as you know, if you have to do it without the machine helping you, sometimes you get it wrong.
Now, is it also recording temperature at all, or any other attributes to it?
It does record temperature. I mean, you could actually set this if you wanted to. We have a temperature sensor here in the mixing arm. It's completely flush. You can't find it. You really can't even feel it. So it's in here. And what that temperature probe does a couple things. First of all, you don't have one in your pocket that ends up in the dough anymore. So it's going, and it's also reading the center of the dough, which is the accurate temperature of the dough, versus when you just stick the outside of it. But it also comes up in here. So, a lot of bakeries, when they finish a dough batch, one of the things that they want to record is the temperature. It's already in here. Okay,
Troubleshoot. If I have a problem with the equipment, is there any troubleshooting built into it?
This one will tell you have an error code if something comes up. That's part of this program, but it's not, so to speak, a troubleshooting program. Yes, they are. It's not power washed. Not power wash, but yes, they're very water resistant. Yes, very water resistant. I don't want you to power wash the control, but otherwise, the Kronos Pro, the motors are, if you wash it, the motors are not going to burn out on you. It's designed to be in a bakery that you have to wash. Exactly. Designed with being in a place that's supposed to work in mind.
And so the biggest concern I would have is the sensors then. So when we were washing on some of our removable bowls, sometimes switches would just rust out or something like that. Have you found that your system to be very reliable?
Yes, it's absolutely reliable. It actually is a hydraulic lock that's in there. So there's not just a small pressure switch that you're pushing it into, which of course those are the things that get oxidation on and any problems. This is a hydraulic lock. When you push it in, it fully locks in place, and the sensor that's actually saying the bowl is in there is inside of the machine. So it's not a little thing on the bottom.
So the next step up would be a standard spiral mixer, and this is a removable bowl system. It's a Kronos 200 Pro. Has that changed?
Yes, we have a little bit about history. We had before IBA 2012, we had the President mixer, and we did a complete new development from the scratch. So the Kronos mixer is now since 2012 on the market. We have sold now more than 500 units of this mixer. And the Kronos Pro has a lot of advantages. Especially the Kronos Pro is completely in stainless steel. And the second thing is has a much more stronger motor for the spiral. And also we have changed the complete hydraulic system also to a much more stronger unit. And yeah, it's a very reliable mixer, which we are really selling to the whole world, and our customers are very happy with them.
Okay, and I noticed this one has a scraper bar on it, which is an add-on that you don't have over here. And I don't know if it's on the other model too, but that's an option, or how does that work?
Yeah, this is, the scraper is an option. You don't need the scraper for each dough, but it's an option. We have also on the Kronos Pro, we can also reverse the bowl rotation. This is also at the Kronos Pro. Has an advantage if you would like to, and at the latest stage of your mixing process, we can go reversible. If you would like to add chocolate chips or rices inside, we can do it in a very smoothly way, and that's why we have the reversible bowl.
So it has more abilities than just the standard bread machine. You're actually mixing chips and things like that. So there are other doughs that you could make with this?
Yeah, and generally you can use the spiral mixer, the Kronos, you can use for all different kinds of doughs. So it's a very nice mixer for medium-sized bakeries, and it's also a very cost-efficient solution. And yeah, and from the reliability, it's I can say this is our customers are really happy, and we have a very success with this mixer.
So in that fact that it's stainless steel, I assume it's a washdown capability?
I would say not a washdown. It's not here washed down, but the advantage of stainless steel is that it's more robust, and you can use it also in rooms where you have temperatures for cross-on doughs, which are the room temperature is colder, and It is much more better also from the cleaning process.
Looks like you have a computer board where it's programmable, and that means that their various mixes you could set up a whole program.
Yeah, we have here a very user-friendly touch screen. The touch screen normally you have on our mixer. You have the two watches which you can control manually, but here you can do it in a digital way. So you can change here the minutes very easily through the touch screen. But the really big advantage of a touch screen is that we have, first of all, we can store all the recipes here on the touch screen. So you can store more than 1,000 recipes. And the second thing is we can also exchange the recipes from the touch screen. We have an interface where you can go. Also, we can communicate it with a software which is a level higher, and this gives the customer can also do an exchange from the software to the mixer. If we have to add chocolate chips or raisin in the later stage, we have two choices. We can do it during mixing. Then we have a container on the top where we can fill during mixing. But we can also set up a program where we are going up with the head, adding the ingredients to the mix, and just press the button and.
Okay, so it'll stop mixing and say you've got to do something, right?
Yes.
To the baker, you've got to add an ingredient.
Yep.
And then
We are automatically, when you would like to add ingredients, the mixer stops automatically. The head is going up. You adding the additives to the dough. You have press 1 and the mix starts again, but the operator has not to set the timing. It will end then automatically when the timing is ready.
So on the programmability side, how many steps can you put into a single program?
What we can here on the program, what we can set, of course, if we are talking about now, I just give you some examples. If we have a hamburger bun, a dough for a hamburger bun, what we can set on the recipe is we can store the amount of ingredients what we have, and of course then the complete timing in the first phase and in the second phase is stored on the PLC. And that means if you have different operators, they just go to a hamburger dough, press hamburger dough, and then they have already the minutes in the first phase and in the second phase. So they don't have to adjust the timing.